GeneDecode, always an interesting podcast with Gene. Every single time, people love these podcasts. Gene, welcome on board, man. I'm glad to see you back.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be back, Nino. Thank you for having me.
Well, the great thing about you is, you have experience. You were a military submarine code breaker. You know a lot of what's going on. You have your intel. You have your sources. I'm trying to make the best sense of what the hell's going on in this fog of war. You see, and who better to talk to than a code breaker? I don't know, but
it's pretty transparent to me.
Well, look what you see. I keep bringing this up because I'm just kind of in awe of the people turning on Trump. Specifically the podcasters, Candace, Alex, Megyn Kelly.
That was easy too. That's part of the movie. Candace, Tucker.
Do you explain that? Are they compromised, or are they part of it?
No, it's part of the movie. What they're going to do, and Marjorie Taylor Greene's part of this, to develop another party, because the Democrat Party is going to go away, and they need something for people to go to. So it's going to split MAGA because some people are unhappy, so they have a place to go. Then when
whoa! This is part of the Trump plan?
Yes, it's part of the plan.
What? Okay, I didn't see this coming. So
control the opposition. So now you set up another party. Then after the next presidential election comes in, they merge back together into one party, and everybody's backing the MAGA again. So it's all part of, it's for those that are unhappy, that can't understand what's going on with Iran and Israel and all of whatever, whatever they're upset about, whether it's what's going on within the United States, what's going on the Straits of Hormuz, whatever it is, they're upset. It gives them another place to go. And Candace is completely read in. She has got intel coming at her like freaking crazy. As far as
this is all theater.
Yes. As far as Alex Jones, he's a savant, selective. And so he has sources that give him intel to steer him in a certain way. He's not read in, but he's steered. And so they're steering him and giving Candace the intel and Tucker the intel. He's read in, not as high as Candace, but Candace is way read in. And so it's all part of the script of the movie. I love
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're telling me Candace, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly are all read in. They're part of the operation.
Yep.
It look like MAGA's divided, but it's all theater.
Yep. Add in Nick Fuentes in there too.
Okay, so I fell for it. I feel like an idiot now. This actually makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Too many years in the military, I've seen this show before on the submarines. When the officers play one division against another, or one department. I've seen this one before.
Wow. All right. So that kind of threw me for. I really was starting to believe. This gives me a different perspective. That's why I like having you on, Gene.
You're welcome. And you'll see it all happen. It'll all play out, and it's just like with Elon, where he and Elon had a big spat, and they separated, and Elon said he's in the Epstein files. Yeah, he is. Because Epstein hated him.
Well, what did that achieve with Elon? I'm still trying. What did that theater achieve with Elon?
That was to get people, because Trump can't go and use the Epstein files. It's leverage for one thing against leaders all over the world and all kinds of other people too. Pretty much bankers, you name it. Most of the famous people in the world are in that list. Not like Trump either. and Elon, where they're mentioned because they're not liked. And, because he had Epstein arrested and, he testified and he had him thrown out of Mar-a-Lago and all his compounds. Not like that. You got most of these people in there because they went to Zorro Ranch and the island and New York, his place, like you saw Prince Andrew, all of that. So they are really deep in it. And so the red folder is what that he got to each certain leaders of the world is their script to follow based on, in some cases they have leverage over them. In some cases it's an actor. Here's your script. So, and if it's part of the alliance, like Putin, Xi, and Trump, it's, okay, when I do this, you'll do that. When we do this, you do that. And Modi, they're all four part of that, of the World Alliance.
I mean, the way the way they all responded, I mean, Candace was on a vacation. She went back into the office and got on it immediately. Alex Jones now is really going full throttle, full retard on this. And it just looks like, I don't know, it looks like they took it very serious. So you're saying this is an act?
Yeah, it's an act. They're good too, aren't they? Alex Jones is not an act. He's being played. He gets intel. They steer him. They know he's a selective savant who can't keep his mouth shut with intel at all. So he's given certain intel to get wind up to get all freaking hermitized. Go, and so, that's what he does really well.
So this is like the WWE. This is like what we're watching is behind the scenes. Look, here's your script. We're going to do this. And the whole objective is to do what? Further, okay, so it looks like it's dividing MAGA, but why wouldn't they want MAGA stronger than ever right now?
You don't want that because it's going to naturally divide anyway. You've got to control the division.
Control the division.
Yep.
Okay, this makes sense.
If you've got a huge rock in this, it's going to split the river in half. You want to control how that rock splits the river in half. So you put a rock further upstream, that'll split it before it gets to that other rock, and you're in control of how long that rock's there.
So the Democrats not having anywhere to go will join Candace, Alex, Tucker, right? I mean, is that what they want?
That's exactly it.
Wow. Okay. And then the objective would be to then funnel them into another right-wing party, or that would merge with MAGA?
Later on, come the next presidential elections in 2028. Yes. Exactly. And it all throws back in. Okay, now everything goes back in the.
But I mean, it was pretty brutal what Trump said. They have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it, and everyone else knows it.
Yeah, I mean, Trump's the greatest troll on earth. Oh, Tucker's stupid, and he didn't even finish this, and he didn't go to college. He didn't finish college. It's like, yeah, really good at trashing people. And then they trash back, and it's a big, it's just like like you said, championship wrestling. Okay, and now in the ring is the Hammer, and he's got the Don on the ropes, and Don is down, he's back up. It's like, I love this movie. It's hilarious.
Wow. Okay. So the only one that really, you're right. The one that really looks like they're taking this very personal is Alex. He's on a tirade now. He's going all in.
Yep. Because
so maybe he's not acting.
What's that?
So you're saying Alex is the one that actually took the bait?
Yeah, he's not read in. He's just being used as, a useful person that, can't keep his mouth shut, so you can't trust him with intel, so they give him what they want to steer him and get him upset and aim him like a missile in a certain direction.
Wow. I mean, that's a different perspective.
Yeah, we had people like that on the ship. You said something, they'd spin up, and exactly how they'd spin up, and you'd use it. we called them a screen, an S something something screen, you know. So if you had a little situation in your division or department and you didn't want the command to be focused on you, you go to somebody else in another department that had a terrible mouth and no control over it and say something, and they'd spin all over the place and attract the attention, and like the nail be sticking up everything else, and then the command would be looking over there, and you could fix your problem before it got noticed.
So like a controlled demolition.
Yes, exactly. Look over. You know, it's just like when you got somebody on the ropes, you hit them with right, so they're not looking at the. Then you knock them out with the left.
Yeah. I mean, of course, this is why I can believe this, and of course, at such a high level with where we're at in the country right now, they would be using this type of theater or psychological warfare, right? This is what they would do.
Yes. I mean, everything you see is this way.
And then you'll have Democrats feeding Marjorie, Alex, Candace info, right?
Exactly, because they think, all right, MAGA's dividing. Finally, yay, we got an opening, and they're breaking away, and we'll feed them all this information and stuff and steer them. We can steer them in our direction and get them to back the stuff we want. Yeah, that's because you're stupid.
This makes all the sense in the world to me.
No, that can't be. A team can't be right. No way.
I think I buy this. I think this makes a lot of sense to me because, you know, you can look at they just look like they're really flustered and bothered by this, but hey, man, it's easy to act, right? I mean,
yes. I mean, I've done it in a fight when I actually got hurt. I used it. Oh! Got a knee dislocated, went down to the ground, reset it when I hit the ground, and I'm down with one knee. The guy comes out, whap, hit him with that leg and knock you clean out. Don't come from the ground up. It's like, yeah. It hurt, but I played it on you, didn't I? Or, you know, it hits me hard in the rib cage on the right. I switch so I'm in the right leg, the right rib cage is back. So, it got it. I broke rib. No, but I'm making you think you did.
Yeah, this is why, I mean, I can understand this for sure. Art of war, right?
Yes. And literally everything you see going on in the world. Like, let's take the young man revealing all of the corruption in Minnesota and now in Los Angeles with over 100 and, what is it? Oh, it's 211 hospices are shut down because of fraud. And that young man is being used by the Alliance to do that.
Are you talking about Nick Shirley?
Yeah, Nick Shirley. Because you can't have the government, Trump, and people that work with Trump going and showing that. Because they're saying, oh, he's using legal warfare. He's going after his opponents. He's going after Gavin Newsom because Gavin Newsom will probably run for president. So he's making him look terrible and all of this. No, you get this young man. I mean, come on. You really think this young man knew something that the FBI didn't know? I mean, they know everything. They track everything. You people, I mean, what Snowden said about how much we're tracked, that was back then. Compared to now, you have no privacy anywhere. All the smart devices, your telephone, your iPhone, your refrigerator, your oven, your doorbell, all of that is monitoring everything all the time. Your car, it's taking pictures and videos, and 5G is transparent to everything in the whole build house and everything down into underneath the skin even. I mean, the level of surveillance is off the chart. That you really think the FBI doesn't, NSA doesn't tap into that? Of course, and they knew about all this stuff. And with Doge and what Elon, he found all that. but they can't go and because the Democrats will scream and the deep state war. They're doing legal warfare like they did on Trump, where they arrested him and did all this stuff. So they get somebody to do it. Just like with the Epstein files, they can't say that we grabbed all this when we went to Epstein Island, because they would be screaming, "Oh, that was illegal! You can't do that! Blah blah blah! That's foreign, land, property, blah blah blah." So what they did is Aaron Schwartz, the internet's boy, who hacked into MIT, where all the entire internet goes through, and now downloaded 900, I think, or it was 9,000, something like that. It was an astronomical number of pages per second. He got everything. It was showing flags all over the world and countries and their military and secrets and all kinds of stuff. Well, they got everything on Epstein and all the deep state's blackmail back into the 15th century. When the British had the tea and all of that, and there was actually bringing human trafficking, like same with the oil tankers now. So now they have all that blackmail forever, and they said, we got it when the military, we got flagged, all the countries were kind of, oh my goodness, so the military went in, grabbed all his stuff, and they got it all. Well, it just happened to be with this stuff. So the deep state can't say you got it illegally. That's legal. They got it inside the United States by a breach into the military security complex. I mean, you're talking missile codes and stuff. They have to get that. So, and the football codes and all that. So he hacked it all. And so they go and get him. So that's exactly what you see going on with Putin and Xi when they get upset with Trump.
Putin and Xi are also part of, I've heard Putin at least is a strong ally to Trump. Is there any truth in that?
Yeah, Putin, Trump, Xi, and Modi are all in this together.
To take down the deep state. The deep state is what? It's comprised of, when we say they, we're talking about bankers, families, correct? We're talking about families and bankers. That when we say they, that's who it is. They're the ones that fund all sides, control the money.
Well, at the top, you're going into the Vatican. And at the top of the Vatican, you're going into the Orsinis and the Black and the Great Pope. The Great Pope being Pepe Orsini. And then beyond that, above that, you're going into the non-terrestrial. More and more non-terrestrial hybrids. Like, that's why they're breaking the hybrid story with Matt Gaetz at Crestview. Said had a contact at Crestview that told him about the hybrid program. That's why that's being broke, because that's the next order of power of the deep state, going beyond the strictly mankind level. You're going into the hybrids. So,
the interdimensional intruders.
Yes. And so that's why
they're not from other planets, Gene. They're from other dimensions, correct?
All of the above.
All the above.
Yeah. So, it's, if you, like where you had J.D. Vance say that all non-terrestrials are demons. No. What about angels? They're non-terrestrials too. They're not fallen, though. You have fallen ones, but you have ones that are not fallen too, that are working with us. And then you've got the regular non-terrestrials, you've got ultra-dimensionals, you've got cross-timeline non-terrestrials, you've got us from the future, saying, do not go down the changing your genome, infiltrating yourself with all kinds of tech. Do not nanotech all this. Do not do that. We cannot come back from what we did. You still can't. Stop it now. So you've got all of that at play right now at the same, whilst, as the great Gonzo would say, whilst and at the same time.
In a race to 2030.
Right.
Why 2030? Why 2030, Gene?
Because it's just shortly before the CME and the Ascension. That's why, what's the last thing on the cue board?
Lights out.
Nope.
The darkness, 10 days of darkness, right?
Ascension. The last word posted was ascension. And it's about ascension.
I think a lot of people are ascending now, and they're ahead of the game. You know,
Yes.
I kind of feel like I'm a little more elevated than most people.
Yes. And when humans learn the power of our DNA and what you can do, like Christ said, but a mustard seed, what he did compared to what we will, not what we can, what we will do, meaning it is already there. And so this is some of the secrets the great mystery schools of the Masons and that have hidden from us. The power of envisioning as is, not in the future. You do it as is. And there's quite a few things out on that now where you say, okay, you don't say, I see this coming. You say, this is this way now. And you imagine it and you act as if it already is that way, and you will manifest it.
That's what I did in boxing easily. 36-0. You know, I knew I was going to be undefeated.
Yes.
So I understand visualization. It's nothing I had to work on. I just believed it.
Yes. It's a power. Literally what they say is man's imagination is the voice of God. So when we imagine something as done, that goes right back into the quantum and comes right back out as so. It's instantaneous. It starts to manifest immediately. So it's the power of that. And then the power that we have to learn is to unprogram back when it doesn't happen right away. Why not? Why not? Because the mind control, the Mark Ultra mind control done on us for thousands of years, we're in our own way.
So
we think the illusion that they foisted on us is real. It's not real. It's an illusion. All this deep state and all this other stuff and our lack of power and our lack of this and that lack of, that's all an illusion. We have absolute power given to us by God.
So is that why on the back of the dollar it has the light and it says, what does it say, Novius Corpus or something like that?
Novus Ordo Seclorum. The new Novus is new, Ordo is world, Seclorum is Ordo is order, Seclorum world. So new order of the world, or the new world order. And e pluribus means from the many one. It's to say that from all the religions and everything, they'll gather everything together into one autonomous thing, slave camp, in other words. But, that's part of their mysteries. And then you've got the 13 levels of the pyramid with 72 stones, the 72 names of Lucifer, Satan, Beelzebub, Mephistopheles, etc. And then you've got a white rose and a red rose on each side. You've got 13 13s on the back of the dollar bill. 13 symbols of 13. So you got like the 13 layers of the pyramid, and you got, I can run through them, but we got so much other things to talk about. So, like, for example, the Straits are Hormuz. So they said, okay, we're not going to agree with this. Iran said, nope. So Trump said, okay, I'll close the Strait of Hormuz. So they, because Britain, Starmer, who's just a useless fool for the deep state, he's just, no, we're not going to help you. Fine. We close it so nobody gets injured. Now, all of the tankers go through the Panama Canal or up through the Atlantic to through the Gulf of America to get their oil. But a lot of those oil tankers do not have oil in them. They have people in them. So now in Beijing and a few other big ports in China, you have tens of thousands of people walking off the docks into empty buildings in China because they were being trafficked, and now the ships are just going to sit there because they don't have oil. and they're not going to go and take people or organs to the Gulf of America. So it's revealing, it's shutting down the human trafficking in one fell swoop. They could
The Strait of Hormuz was used for human trafficking.
Massively.
All the tankers are now going to the Gulf of Mexico or America right now, right? That's where all the business is going now.
Yeah, hundreds, 121 absolutely, I know for sure right now are empty and heading to get our oil.
Wow. Genius move by Trump, right?
Yeah, good drill, baby, drill, and now you got a place to sell it. And it's going to be sold in millions of barrels a day. And our economy is going to go through the ceiling. We are now, and then we're taking out Venezuela, and they're doing the deal with us, and that oil goes to us, and stopping what's going on with Cuba, because if you look at Cuba, to get into the Bay of the Gulf of America, one way or another, you got to go past Cuba. Whether you go up over it or down under it, you go past Cuba. It's a choke point island. So you neutralize that, you get Venezuela's oil and our oil, and we have it all, and then every single tanker on Earth goes through to us.
And that's why we're going to go after Cuba next, right?
Yes. And it's already, power's down and all kinds of stuff, so they can't do anything, and their leader said, okay, we'll come to the table. So he's already somewhat capitulated. So he's got that, so it's safe, and he showed what the Cuban special forces protecting Maduro can't do, which is everything. They can't do anything at all. There's nothing they can do to stop it. Plus what's going on in Iran with the guys jumping out of the aircraft at night with no chutes. Hundreds and hundreds of special forces jumping out of the aircraft at night with no chutes at all. And they're going, what in the world? And then just before they hit the ground, their suits activate and they slow down to a stop just before they hit land and take off running, and it pushes them. The anti-gravity starts to push them up to 90 miles an hour. They're running at 90 miles an hour. Then they run down into the ground through the dumps at 90 tunnels at 90 miles an hour, and the bullets and nothing can hit them, and the particle weapons can't touch them. I mean, this is the technology we have. Those smart suits that they have. Well, not smart suits, but
I want one of those. It's like a superhero suit.
Yeah, superhero suit. You can't be hit by anything. Not a particle weapon, a directed energy weapon, a regular weapon, explosive devices. You could jump out of a plane at 40,000 feet and just glide to a stop just before you hit to the ground and just whoo, and then you land, you take off, it pushes you up to 90 miles an hour. It's just
so do other countries know we have this technology, and is that why they're so easy to bring to the table now? Does Trump, are we showing them behind the scenes what we can do to them?
Oh, for them, that's not behind the scenes. They're seeing it up front personal. They're seeing that. They see that we have that technology. And this is all based on tech that is really, really super advanced. It uses nano diamonds along with the graphite. And it's literally, you can also use that lieutenant colonel. They brought his plane down and he left his plane and they found him because you have a nano diamond on his chest monitoring his heart. And it told him where he was. They had his signature, his body rhythms, his heart rhythm, everything. That's, so they found him. That's another thing it can do. You can also have it as a gel, wipe it on your body, and you look like Tina Turner or Candace Owens. Just as a gel, you'd be a shapeshifter.
All of this is quantum. Is that how they shapeshift? Is that wow? So
yeah. It's the same thing that the non-terrestrials use, but they have it naturally in their skin. This is the gel now we can wipe on and shapeshift into anything you want.
Why am I finding this so easy to believe?
What's that?
I find this so easy to believe. It makes so much sense to me.
Yeah. You talk about the mask. This is the ultimate. Now you can shapeshift to look like anyone or anything. You can literally stop in front of a doorway and look like a door. People go, where'd he go?
So you're able to control others' perception of you.
Mm-hmm. Just like you look at your TV and it looks 3D and you have a picture and I see Nino and you could put somebody else on the screen. I see somebody else. I could see, Scott McKay or Michael Jaco. Well, that's just light coming through the 5G into my computer and being translated. Same thing. The diamonds and the nanotech picks it all up, and then it manifests it as the gel manifests it, and you become whatever it is. And it can be sent directly from the thoughts of the person. So they can just say, boom. Okay.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That is incredible. Let me kind of go back for a second because you mentioned something about the Vatican, the Pope, and it would make sense to me now with what Trump just posted. Here it is, with the this Truth Social post that he put of him. It looked like he was trolling the Pope, where it looks like he's healing somebody.
Yeah, he said he's the great healer. He heals people. That's what he said. He meant by the post in the fake news that it is the Pope. But what that is a symbol. That is comms. That they're coming after the Vatican the rest of the way. They've already come after the white Pope and all the gold and all that stuff underneath the Vatican and all of that stuff all the way to Jerusalem. That's all done.
Well, let me try to pull this up again. I don't know how I lost it. This is just...
Yeah. But now they're going after the Orsinis and all of that stuff, which, at the upper levels, the same families. Still
so that was him mocking the Vatican, actually.
Yes. Because they're no more holy than anybody else. They're the most unholy people on earth. They traffic children and have been sacrificing them to Baal and confess. The Pope in the past has confessed that Lucifer is God and, all this stuff.
So,
not confessed, but said it.
Right. It shows here, like if you can see here, Trump's the original photo, he added a demon at the top there. I don't know if people can see that. Maybe this one will pull up, but if I hope someone can see it.
Yeah, try it again.
Yeah, there it is. But I mean, it's see, the stuff is aggravating. There it is. There's a demon right there. So he added a demon at the top here. What's the significance of that?
That's the Orsini family. That's at the top going, it's saying they're going to pull out the demon all the way up to the non-terrestrials, the demons and all of it. And you got the U.S. military, you've got the eagle representing the United States and, freedom, although, that's kind of people, it's just the symbols of what people associate. So I know that the Statue of Liberty is not what people think it is, but that's what people think it is a symbol of liberty. So then you have the demon at the top, and you've got that's going to be going after that, and all of that stuff is going to be removed. That's part of the top end of the deep state.
So that was him trolling the Vatican. That's what this picture is about.
Well, trolling the people above the Vatican.
Above the Vatican, wow.
And the Vatican as well.
In other words, we know who you are. That is so insane.
Yep.
That is so crazy, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Everything, you got to look at the layers of it. Remember everything secrets within secrets, plans within plans. So Xi is all upset. He's got to look like he's upset because all the tankers that are full of people that weren't full of oil are sitting tied up in Beijing. So he's got to be, and all those people are in empty buildings that they had from all the people they executed through the jabs, which is actually just extreme levels of 5G mixed with graphene and nanotech and all that other garbage. But they're down to about 400 some million people. So they have tons of empty buildings and, factories and, a lot of people. They've got 10 provinces that are in, CCP is in breakaway from the CPC. So he's got to play his part. He's got to look really upset, be upset with Trump. So he is,
I just, so yeah, that would make a lot of sense to me. It's all coming together. You tied a lot of this together for me, Gene. A different kind of perspective. Where are we in this war right now? Where are we in the deep underground tunnels, the bases? We had to clean that out first. That's what came first in this fight, right? We had to clear out that kind of underground infrastructure.
Yes. So they cleared it out in our country, in Canada, this continent. Then they're clearing out the Middle East now. So they're clearing out a lot of the missile attacks and things you see going to United Arab Emirates, from Iran, to the Saudis, to, for example, some people don't know, went to Quran. Well, that's near the Dead Sea. What did that used to be? That's right near, an area that is literally near where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. And there's tunnel systems there that go to Mount Hermon. What's Mount Hermon? Well, that's where the fallen angels came, and they have a city buried under there where they sacrificed to Baal. So it's cleaning this ancient stuff. So they hit it with a missile. That's in the Gaza Strip area is where it is. They say, that's the Israelis doing that. No, it's not. Not this time. Oh, it was Iran doing it. Yeah, it looks like that. But it's the white hats cleaning out stuff. So yes, they are hitting Saudi and they are hitting, Bahrain and United Arab Emirates and all these other places, but also, like they hit our bases earlier. But our bases, they told us that we're going to hit your base at this day at this time. So we took all our people out of there. Why are we doing that? Because we're getting out of the Middle East. None of our business. We're going to create a peace there. We're going to get rid of the deep state, of the Iranian rule by the deep state for over 50 years, way more than 50 years. And that's a Christian country. And, all the many Persian is the correct term, not Iranian, are saying, Trump, keep going. Okay, we lose 1,000 or 2,000 because of friendly fire. In 1 week, under this regime, back at this date, they executed 40,000 of us in the street. They cut women in half. This has been going on year after year. Tens of thousands of us killed by them. This is nothing compared to what they've done to us. Get us free. We are willing to suffer and take because they lined Iran is nothing but a terrorist regime. They lined up people around the power plants and around the oil refineries, people for human shields for it, so that our military wouldn't hit it. But our military is more precise than that.
So Gene, this kind of adds up to me because I was told by someone in the military, a friend of a friend, and he told me in person, and we had to go put our phones away. Okay, so how do I put this? That Iran and the Middle East, but Iran specifically, is filled with reptile nests.
Yes.
Interdimensional. They've had it. I was shown a video I know I'm not going to say how I saw it, but it really my jaw dropped, of these reptilians chasing these military personnel running in, it looked like a kind of a field. It was with thermal goggles, running to the helicopter. The guys in the helicopter had these thermal goggles on, shooting at these reptiles, but it wasn't really doing anything, and the reptiles got to these guys and ripped their arms and limbs off. And you could totally see that the way they moved and the way it was creepy. And they finally got to the men, and I guess they devoured them. I mean, but they ripped their arms and legs off. And the bullets didn't do anything. I mean, they said that they came across a reptile nest, and it's infested. They told me Iran is infested with this stuff.
That's
is there any truth to that?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just wondering. I mean, I've always had that in the back of my mind. This was about 5 years ago when I came across that, but it's always, it's always kind of like scarred my brain, stained my mind. I've always had that visual of what I saw, and I've always wondered, man, was that real? And
yes,
that's why I don't. That's why. But
you had one of the homeworld rocks, black rocks of evil there, and they dug tunnels there and have nests there for thousands of years. Stargate 10 is there, so they were bringing more through that gate, and there's portals there, and that's all why they brought the special forces with special suits, no shoots, no nothing, and these suits that don't allow them, they can shapeshift to look reptilian if they want. They can.
Well, did the reptilians, or were the reptilians only the ones who had this technology? We got it from them, or how? Because I mean, obviously they were. If you watch that movie, They Live, it's kind of showing people what was really going on. These reptiles are among us, right?
Yes, and it's back engineered using tech. So now we have the same technology, the same abilities, the same, even more. Where their weapons and stuff don't work on us, but ours work on them.
This is fascinating. So yeah, that just came to me, and I've talked about this with certain people, but I'm telling you now publicly, I've seen this video, and it was horrific to watch. I still couldn't believe it. I was like, this had to be, and this was before AI, Gene.
Yeah. So it's the same thing like the the night vision red goggles they had for night vision in Vietnam. And it revealed the demonics. Well,
right, you're right. In Vietnam, they saw all the demons and they were shooting at them, right?
Right, and because they're in another dimension, bullets don't affect them. But they were caught. They knew they could see them, so they'd fly between two helicopters. One guy would shoot at the other helicopter and kill the gunner on the other helicopter to shoot down another helicopter. That's why they changed to Greene.
I had a friend that filmed these entities at his house. You could see these shadows walking through his house. He filmed them. It was some of the creepiest stuff that I've ever seen. I've seen those videos as well, where he would send them to my phone. I never went back to his house. I said, forget it, dude. I'm not ever going back there. But I saw these entities walking around his house, plain as day. Plain as day. The phone picked them up.
Yep.
They're like dense shadows.
Yes.
You can't see with your eyes.
Animals and cats and all that see that stuff over time. It's just people. You see it as a child. But then you're told that that's not real, and your brain filters it out because it's not real. You no longer decode it. Doesn't mean it's not there. It means your brain is filtering it out, so you don't see it. You don't decode it. Literally, reality. This is back to where we were with the power of the mind and the power of our DNA and the power of our word and our imagination. Whatever you decode is your reality. So, who's the man who first did the hypnosis on stage, hypnotized a man while his daughter was up on stage with him. And then he said, at a certain word, you will not see nor hear your daughter until I say this other word. And then he said the word a little while later on, and the guy said, oh my goodness. The man, the father said, oh, my daughter's gone. Where'd she go? And he waved the girl to stand directly in front of her father. He's looking out to the audience. He goes, where is she? Looking around, he could see through her. The man then Mesmer took a watch out of his pocket, a pocket watch, had an inscription on inside it. He opened it up behind the daughter's back so no one could see it, slid it up against her back, and asked the man, what is the inscription on my watch? He goes, to my dear husband, on our 33rd anniversary or something like that, right? And he then showed the audience, and that is what it was. So he read the inscription on the pocket watch through the daughter, saw right through her.
Wow, that just shows you the mind is not the brain, is it?
Yeah. What is reality is based on what we interpret it to be through our ability to image, our imagination. That's why it's so powerful. That's why they've dumbed us down and made us think we're not that, we're not this, we're not good enough. And they put intercessors between us and the supreme divine oneness, one God of all creation. You have to go through this pope or through this person or through that, confess all this and all that. And you're born all messed up and all that, originalness, sin and all that. But if you read the Bible, that contradicts Ezekiel. You're not responsible for the sins of the Father upon the Son. Well, that goes all the way back. So people don't think. And so as that happened, we've lost all these amazing abilities we had. And that's what is happening. The Great Awakening is the waking of the human spirit, the power of us back to what we originally were. Like Carlos Castaneda said, we were capable of feats of consciousness we can't even conceive of anymore. So we had the power of the mind and the word, which is essentially makes you an immortal. Because if you can perceive and just envision yourself to be whatever you want, whatever age, whatever you are your own bed, So it's learning to get all of these things back and all of this, So all of these miraculous healings and all that, that's how this works. It's going in from the mind of imagination is the voice of God. Through our imagination that God gave us, we manifest reality. And they know that. They can't do that. They don't have their soul. So they can't do it. You have to have your soul intact to house your spirit. They don't. So this is what the war is about, is for our DNA to lock us down with nanotech and all that other stuff permanently. But that's what Trump is under, and the alliance is completely destroying. And they're doing it such that they're making it look like it's us. We're doing it all. So you got, like the man you mentioned that's revealing the stuff in LA and all of that with the hospices and 221 of them shut down and all this. It's got to look like the average person is fighting, like the people demand the Epstein files.
Right.
It's not up there. It's the people demanded it. Oh, are you still talking about the Epstein files? Listen, no, we're not doing that anymore. Yeah. And then people get really upset. Then Melania comes out and sends a torpedo out. Kaboom!
Yeah, and then now they're trying to set her up and say, oh, she was Jeffrey Epstein's, whatever. He introduced her to Trump, and now all these AI photos are coming out. And people are falling for this.
Yeah, and they fell for it. I mean, just like Trump went to Bethesda. Oh, Trump's dead. Oh, yeah. I go, wait 48 hours for crying out loud. Watch what happens. And sure enough, he went there because the men they rescued that were shot down in Iran were in Bethesda. And he went there to visit them. Just, tell them thank you and give them Medal of Honor and all that other stuff, right, for their service. And so this is the movie. It's all a movie. The deep state's playing their cards, revealing who they are, and Trump's playing them all over the place. He's playing them this way and that way. I mean, it's like a good fighter. He runs over here. Look over here, over here. Don't look here. Don't look here. No, don't look here.
Also I pulled up the Ephesians 6:12 King James version of the Bible. Says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Says it right there in the Bible. That's exactly what we're up against. So people that have a hard time believing what you and I are talking about, well, there it is, right there in the Bible. There it is. For your eyes to see in black and white. What we're talking about is not so far-fetched anymore, is it?
No, and not only that, if Trump had brought out the Epstein files, people would say he made it up. And now that the people, the Democrats and the people that demanded it, and they see how it's tied to Satanism, like everywhere, the bankers, the Pope is all going to be tied into that. The royal families, I don't think there's going to be a royal family elect on Earth by the time this is done. It's going to tie to everything, all your major high-level masonry, all of this, it's all going to come out. People are going to, that's going to tie to the banking, the bankers, and the beast, and all of this financial and legal system, the bar, the British Admiralty rule, the birth certificate, and the fakeness of that, and that's your bill of title of being born and coming into your birth.
Into the corporation.
Yeah, corporation. All of that. It's going to reveal it all, and people are going to see how they've been played from FDR making the birth certificate and your straw man. And they're going to say, I don't need money for a grant for a humanitarian project. I'm 60 years old. My straw man's worth $10 billion.
Right.
We're all fabulously wealthy.
Yeah, we're all quantum, right, Gene?
Yeah. And then they're going to find out that the fiat money system is fake. There's a new money system that's based on quantum, and the entire thing is off Earth. It's not any computer system on Earth. It's not blockchain. I found that was incorrect. That was tying into crypto, which 95% of cryptos started by the dark side, so the deep state. And so all that, you're going to get a type of currency like that backed by tangible gold and assets. But the quantum financial system, QFS, is based off world where they can't, not in any deep state computer system or anything where they can't tamper with it. And it's being run by very high level powerful beings, we'll put it that way. So it's, not on Earth where they can tamper with it. It just so happens all of this is happening when Artemis goes behind the moon. Yeah, what do you think that's meaning? And what does Artemis mean? And so this all ties to the quantum, it all ties to Hormuz Straits, it all ties to everything. It all ties together.
Gene, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I really appreciate you coming on. I got to eat dinner.
Okay.
No worries. Rumbling. I don't know if people can hear that. Stay with me just 1 second.
Sure.
Gene, thank you.